showing the endorsement by Larry Flynn of Hustler magazine, in part because in this article he tells that I know who was responsible for a shooting in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78. But also, and he mentions the doctor that I wrote about was one of the cases in the mind control medical malpractice book I was writing that is unpublished because of what they did to me. But anyway, he mentions Larry McDonald here. He was a case in the book. He was a U.S. congressman and a urologist from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta. So, in the connection there is that, the Lawrence, or Lawrenceville, and his name is Larry Lawrence. So you get into background information that goes into mind control murders, which mind control is invisible. It's being used as a weapon, and over the years, the agencies and now the corporations use it, and people stand by and they do nothing. In fact, it's almost taboo to mention mind control anywhere. So they've taken away freedom of speech even. Back when I wrote the book, I couldn't Google anything. Google wasn't even heard of at the time. So mine came from other sources. And then the fact that the ones I told about were done in patterns. So Larry Flint's was one of them, and I was doing in the book a case on Larry or Lawrence McDonald, Dr. Congressman. I wanted to say here, I have, I'm not going to say it again because I put it on YouTube. A friend, I don't know if he's a friend, but he's with law enforcement himself, gave me this video, gave me the phone because I've been kept penniless and every law in the book broken against me. So I went to social media because and that's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and to try to let people know what was really going on because the media's not going to tell it. They knew about all of this probably before I did. But anyway, the ones I've told about can be proven. They're done in patterns. So I've tried to tell the best I could on there. And I've told the way, I've got this written down. Usually I don't. I've been just sitting here telling it, but so that it goes up, because I'll run out of space. I'm going to try to see if I can just read it off of here. I've told about mind control uses that are done in patterns. So these were deliberately done. So you think at some point it would all be told. And I'll say this, the Wayne Williams murders in Atlanta, the Wayne Williams, the black murders, the book, The List, kind of told you if people were listening. That's when I was doing the book, and I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. So with that letter and with me and the book having been sent to publishers, and the only one that really answered back, it went before their board, was Reveal. And I think it was a kind of a religious publishing company. But the point is, it was hell for me and my sons. And I had antifreeze put in me April the 1st of 80, and I should have died. I was illegally transported across the state line to Huntsville, and where they tried to kill me again. And I met Jack Hartsville, he saved my life. And he was undercover, but he worked as a reporter for the Huntsville Times. But he saved my life then. And I haven't seen Jack since spring of 84, but up until not too long ago, I at least got to speak with him. And I hope he's okay, because I know a lot of things happened to him. And he gave me letters. He was, as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure he was a cousin to Hank Hartsville, the astronaut. I'm telling you this because there's no way that I could make any of this up. I've told nothing but the truth. And if you saw the condition and what's been done to me, it would have to be put before the world. Because right now it's just a joke to everybody, seriously. It's who I am. I found out in '83, late '83, about my kidnapping and who I really am. And I was taken to Moulton, Alabama when I was 2 and given the name of a dead twin, Peggy and Carl, born to Lina Dempsey out of wedlock. And I was placed there, and I grew up being told that was my name. And it was a horrible existence. The woman killed her twins, all right, and it was a pigsty there. But anyway, I wanted to didn't want to lose it. I really meant to make this short. I ended up doing the book about mind control, and Dempsey, the mother of the twins, was the one that illegally, well, there was others helping her, put me in the car. I was supposed to have died. Her car took me to Huntsville. And of all things, I managed to live in that hell, and I went to work for the district attorney there, Fred Simpson, middle May of '80. With the antifreeze, you know what antifreeze does to you? I mean, I should have died, gone to coma, and shut down and died. So anyway, I'm going to fast forward here to, I'm going to focus on the Wayne Williams. First of all, in Huntsville, after I got over there and had a job, I called his Williams, Mary Welcome, his attorney. And she was on every TV and everything, became quite prominent. And in the end, the CIA went in, and she was no longer his attorney, and the attorney's name, CIA, that was CIA retired, supposed to be, and his last name was Marcus, I believe. But anyway, my point is, these are done in patterns that I've told about. My son's name are Mark and Scott, and by the way, I have no idea where they are. I hope and pray they're alive. Okay, I want to go to Mark and Scott. We had friends, they were really friends of the boys, Rusty or Russell Zimmerman. And his father was a pilot for Southern, I believe, Airlines, and it became Piedmont. And they lived at times in the apartments same apartments we lived in, but they remained friends of the boys. I don't know. I don't know where they are, if they're still there. Probably the father, the pilot's dead. But my point is, also, Piedmont Air, it was a passenger plane en route from Huntsville, which is NASA scientists on board and personnel, went down in Cedartown, Georgia, en route to Hartsfield International Airport in Atlanta. And I remember them spanning the airport, and they couldn't get the planes, the journalists couldn't get the helicopters off the ground to get to Cedartown. Now then later, and by the way, these passengers, it was, I don't know how many died, but they were NASA, a lot of them NASA personnel and scientists. They were taken to Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, some of them, a lot of them. And this is where Larry McDonald worked. And I wrote a case in my book about him, and later the plane he's on goes down in '83. The KAL is shot down, passenger plane, and he's aboard and supposed to have died. And I'm flown out to Larry Flint's in that campaign to replace him, and I'm leaving out the hell that I went through. But I want to get back up to the Piedmont and the fact that none of the journalists could get over there, but Jack Hartsfield from Atlanta, who I later met, he saved my life in '80, was the first there in Cedartown to cover it, and Wayne Williams. Well, Wayne won an award for the photography there, and he met my son. I remember my son coming home and said, "Hey, Mom, I met Wayne Williams. He's the one that won the award for taking the photograph of the plane in Cedartown." And then later, I'm doing the book, 76 to 80, when they put the antifreeze in me. And that's when I met Jack Hartsfield in Huntsville after then. But Wayne was part of the mind control murders. Oh, this one can be proven. They've